The Audi Q7 is a luxury mid-sized SUV that combines an elegant design, advanced technology, and powerful performance. Known for its refined interior and smooth ride, the Q7 offers 3 rows of seating, making it the most practical and family-friendly vehicle from Audi. But is this refreshed 2025 Audi Q7 55 Premium enough to keep it an appealing option? Let's go ahead and find out. As always, let's begin by talking about the pricing and the trim level. The Q7 continues to be offered in 3 different trim levels, the Premium, Premium Plus, and Prestige. You can also choose between the 45 engine, a turbocharged 4-cylinder, and a 55 engine, a turbocharged 6-cylinder. This model is the 55 Premium, combining the value-packed base model with the turbocharged 6-cylinder. The starting price of the Q7 is $61,795 for the 45 Premium, and this model is optioned to $71,185 with all the options. Let's see what you get for the money. The Q7 boasts a subtle yet luxurious design. Up front is a large one-piece grille finished in brushed aluminum on the border and the Audi rings in the middle. There is some functional ventilation beneath the headlights and below the grille, and speaking of the headlights, they're going to be fully LED. In typical Audi fashion, even the base model has very advanced technology and a beautiful design for the headlights. You get an LED daytime running light, projector-style LED headlamps, and a sequential turn signal. The Prestige model upgrades the lighting to have a customizable design, so basically you can customize which parts of the headlights light up, and you also get animations. As far as the wheels are concerned, you get standard 19-inch 5-spoke wheels on the Premium model, but if you choose the convenience package, you can get these upgraded 20-inch wheels. This wheel has a very simple design, but I think it is the perfect size considering how much sidewall it has. However, you can get up to 23-inch wheels if you choose the SQ7. At the side, you will find some matte chrome trim at the bottom on this molding with Quattro branding, matte chrome trim surrounding the windows, and body-colored wheel arches. As far as the mirrors are concerned, the Q7 comes standard with heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding. Auto dimming can be found on the Prestige models. They will automatically fold when you lock the car, and they will unfold when you start the car. Overall, these mirrors have a very nice look to them. Moving to the back, the Q7 has a very clean design. You have some matte chrome trim finishing the bumper at the bottom, as well as dual exhaust, and there's some more matte chrome trim running in between the taillights. Speaking of the taillights, they're going to be mostly LED, but they look very nice. You get an LED brake light, an incandescent reverse light, and a sequential turn signal. I do wish that the reverse light was LED, but the fact that the rest of the elements are very premium kind of makes up for it. There's additional incandescent lighting at the bottom in case you are driving with the hatch open. Now let's take a look at the interior of this 2025 Audi Q7 55 Premium. This Q7 is only the base model, but there is still plenty to expect from the interior because this car is coming from a luxury brand and it costs $71,000 as tested. Starting with the door panel, you will find soft-touch plastic on the upper area as well as some glossy wood trim and 2-person memory seating. There are stitched leatherettes finishing the center area, and the switchgear is going to be finished in matte black plastic. At the bottom, you will find plenty of storage space in your trunk release. As far as the seats go, they are going to be made of a stitched leatherette on the base model, and they have a pretty simple overall design. They are still relatively plush and comfortable, but I will point out that this is the only color option you can get. They will include heating and 12 ways of power adjustment. Now let's check out the rest of the Audi Q7's interior. Starting with the steering wheel, you will find a leather-wrapped steering wheel on all Q7 models. Heating is an option on this base model but available on the other trim levels. There are plastic paddle shifters, and by the way, compared to the Prestige model, I will say that this Premium model does not have as high quality leather. There is no leather airbag cover, and your buttons are going to be finished in plastic. These buttons are for your audio controls, and these buttons are for customizing the gauge cluster. There is a separate stock for your cruise control right here, and there is also some aluminum accenting. Audi has always done their gauge clusters very well, and that is no different for the Q7. You can use these buttons to customize the gauges like I mentioned earlier. So you can click the view button to make the tachometer and the speedometer a little bit smaller, and you can also see your information front and center. You can also bring up a full screen map, which is quite nice, and you can make the map a little bit smaller just by clicking the view button again. So overall, the gauge cluster of the Q7 is amazing. There's plenty of customization and the graphics are super crisp. As far as materials go, the Q7 does pretty well in this area. On the Space model, you will find soft touch plastic on the upper dash, but keep in mind that with the Prestige, you can have all surfaces finished in leather. There is a lot of gloss black through here and some aluminum trim with Quattro branding, and it does actually light up at night, which looks super cool. There's some glossy wood trim beneath that, some more gloss black, a little ribbon of aluminum and a little ribbon of wood trim, and some leatherette beneath that. Overall, I would say the material quality and the build quality of the Q7 is amazing. But if you want all surfaces finished in leather, go ahead and get the Prestige. Even though the Q7 is a family car, it actually doesn't do too well in the area of storage. Right here are two cup holders which are on the smaller side, and there's a slot designed for your key fob. By the way, this is what it looks like. It is finished in high gloss black and aluminum, and it feels very high quality. You will also find a 12-volt outlets, a little tray right here for something like a granola bar, and taking a look inside the center console, you will find a little bit more room than before because they removed the wireless phone charging pad, but it still isn't a lot. There are also two USB-C ports, and it is felt lined. The climate controls are integrated into this bottom screen. No, these are not physical buttons, but they're basically as easy to use as physical buttons. They are all here and they never move. On this Q755 Premium, there's dual zone up front and one zone in the rear. Higher trim levels can give 4-zone climate control, which is very nice. To adjust the temperature, you can use these buttons right here, but if that takes too long, you can slide this out and do it a little bit easier that way. You can also adjust the mode, adjust the fan speed, and you will kind of hear a little click. That is because both of these screens have a haptic feedback. You will have to push a little bit harder, and you can turn this off if you want, but I think that it is a lot nicer because it lets you know that you actually clicked the button. You can also bring up another menu to adjust the rear climate and turn on the heated steering wheel. Overall, I would say the climate controls are very easy to use. I like that they are very simple and they are always here and they never move. As far as the main infotainment system goes, the Q7 has the older Audi software. This is not the same software that's in the new Q5 or A6 e-tron, but it still works pretty well. It is a little bit slow. It isn't the most responsive thing in the world, but it still has nice resolution for the navigation system as well as wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Also, you have multiple vehicle controls. This is a German car after all, so you can customize basically everything about this car. When you go into the seat menu, you can actually adjust how strong the heated seats are in the back and the bottom portion. This is not something I think I would use, but if you're really picky, I'm sure this is really nice. You can also adjust other things like the volume of the parking sensors. So if this bothers you, you can turn it a little bit lower, but if you are hard of hearing, you can turn it higher. Overall, the Q7's main infotainment system is pretty good. It isn't the best stuff out there with all the latest technology like the Acura MDX has, but I'm sure it will get the job done just fine. Now let's see about the parking sensors and the cameras. The shifter is located down here and it does take up a good portion of space. Push this button on the side and go down for drive, go up for reverse, and that will bring up a very high resolution backup camera. There is active trajectory, and when you choose the convenience package, you will find a 360 view. With that, you will find multiple other angles, like a front wide view in case you are parked next to a very large car and you need to see around it, a standard front view, and you can take a look at the sides to make sure you don't scrape your wheels. There's also a 3D view so you can see exactly how well you did with your parking job, and that is quite nice. Like that you can actually use the screen to adjust it. You don't have to use gestures like you have to do in some BMWs. Now let's see about how the parking sensors work. Let's just change the view really quick because this is not the view that I want to see. We're going to be using my tripod, as you can see right there, to simulate an obstacle. We're going to see how the parking sensors respond to that. So far they are not making any noise. Now they're making some noise. There's a little graphic on the 360 view, and it's going to get a little bit faster as it gets closer to the tripod. Now they're really mad, so we're just going to move away and call that good. To go into park, just push the button. Up top, you'll find an auto-dimming rearview mirror with a compass, and you will also find controls for your large panoramic sunroof. Now let's take a look at the passenger side on the Audi Q7. The door panel is made of a mix of materials including hard-touch plastic, soft-touch plastic, glossy wood trim, and some leatherettes. The seats are going to be made of the same faux leather and they are pretty plush. They also have heating and 12 ways of power adjustments. Even though they aren't made of real leather, they still feel relatively realistic, although Valcona leather is available on the Prestige. On the dash, you will find a lot of gloss black as well as some aluminum and glossy wood trim. There's also a large vent that goes across the whole dash. The glove box is going to be felt lined and has plenty of storage space. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rear seats because the Q7 is the most family-friendly and practical Audi SUV after all. On the door panel, you will find some hard-touch plastic at the bottom as well as some storage space and some leatherette through the middle area. Unfortunately, there are no sunshades. The seats really aren't anything special, although they are relatively comfortable. They are made of leatherette, but they are not heated on the Space model. In the back of the Q7, there is plenty of legroom and headroom. The back of the seat is going to be finished in a padded leatherette, and there is a netted mat pocket for extra flexibility. In the middle area, you will find two vents, a simplified version of a third zone of climate control, and at the bottom, you will find a 12-volt outlet and two USB-C ports. A 4-zone climate control with a more premium setup is available on the Premium Plus and Prestige. When you fold down part of the middle seat, you will find an armrest with two cup holders. But that's the second row. Let's go ahead and take a look at the third row next. In case you forget to fold up the third row, you don't have to go all the way around to the trunk. There are some quick access buttons to easily fold that up from the second row. Accessing the third row is not the easiest thing to do, and kids definitely could not do this on their own. You have to fold it down, then pull it up with this handle right here, and it definitely takes some muscle. With the second row slid all the way back, I have no additional legroom and the thigh support is very bad in the Q7. At 5'10", I am not comfortable. Amenities include a cup holder and a plastic armrest. No vents or USB ports are included. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cargo area next. There are multiple ways to open up the trunk, and one of the ways is by using the hands-free power tailgates. I will say it has worked flawlessly for every time I've used it. You can also click the button on the key fob twice or push the button on the car itself. Behind the third row, you will find 14.2 cubic feet of space. There is a netted cubby to the left side as well as LED lighting on both sides, which looks amazing at nights. There's also a 12-volt outlet and a hook on the left-hand side. The third row is power folding, but I will say it is kind of hard to keep the button pushed down the whole time. When you fold down the third row, you will find 35.2 cubic feet of space, and as a maximum, you will find 69.6. That is not class-leading, but this is still usable for smaller families. I really like that you get a power folding third row as standard equipment on the Q7, but I just wish they would find a way to have it done automatically so you don't have to keep the button held down the whole time. Now you might notice that when you pop the tailgate, the taillights go up completely. There is no part of it left behind. That is technically against US regulations, so that is why Audi has integrated some extra lighting at the bottom. On its own, it doesn't look great, but this helps the Q7 comply with the US regulations. To close the trunk, just push the button. Now let's see what is powering the Audi Q7. There are two different engine options available on the Q7, the 45, which is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, or the 55, which is what we have today. That is a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder engine making 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission and gets 18 mpg in the city, 23 on the highway, and 20 combined. The 4-cylinder will give you better fuel economy, but the 6-cylinder is far more popular because of the refinements. I also want to mention that there is a twin-turbo V8 available making 500 horsepower, and that is on the SQ7. Let's go ahead and see an acceleration test. The Audi Q7 competes with other luxury three-row crossovers in a very competitive segments. Its main competitors are the Acura MDX and the Lincoln Aviator, but you might find yourself cross-shopping it with the Infiniti QX60, the BMW X5, the Mercedes-Benz GLE with the third-row package, and the Volvo XC90. The Lexus TX is also included, but that car is a little bit bigger than the competitors and offers a lot more space. For dimensions, this car is 199 inches long and 78 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up this video on the 2025 Audi Q7 55 Premium. Overall, the Q7 is a very appealing option in the luxury three-row crossover segments. It offers a luxurious and tech-rich interior, premium materials, a clean exterior design, and a good amount of space. Smaller families should be just fine, but larger families should look at bigger SUVs for more room in the third row. But let me know if you would buy this over the Lincoln Aviator Premier or the Acura MDX technology. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.